Okay guys, Wereman here. Welcome back to the workshop. We are still in formation building. I have no idea if these are going to go out individually or if Pillar's going to jam them all together and do them as one. No idea. But I'm just bashing them all out in one morning here, so that's fun. We are still in the clan box set rulebook, and we are still on page 22. The next one in line is the Striker or Cavalry Star. Yeah, it's cavalry. Alright, so quotations first. Striker Star formations, also known as Cavalry Stars, are made up of fast-moving units that can quickly bring their firepower into combat, while also possessing enough armor to survive an engagement and withdraw, or to hold the line long enough for the main force to arrive. So they're kind of your skirmishers and outriders and things like that, right? So they're out there, they're moving around, they're doing a bit of damage, they're trying to pin people down and stuff like that. So your requirements to build a formation of these is all units in a Striker Cavalry Star must have a minimum ground walk speed of 5 movement points or a jumping move of 4 movement points or more. So you have to have a walk of 5 or a jump of 4 or more, right? That's your minimum. You can have both if you want, but you have to have at least one of those. No units in the Striker Cavalry Star may be of an assault weight class or greater, right? At least 50% of the Striker Cavalry Star must possess the Striker or Skirmisher unit role. Fairly simple. Got to be reasonably fast. You've got to be reasonably maneuverable, not super huge. 5 or a jump of 4. You can get some fairly big necks like that. You can't be assault class. Obviously, you can't be super heavy either. And 50% of them have to have Striker or Skirmisher. Not too bad. The ideal role is Striker. So if you can get 4 Strikers for a Lance, then you can circumvent all the movement and stuff. The bonus ability, now this is one of the least interesting. I mean, it's good, but it's one of the least interesting ones. So prior to the beginning of play, assign 3 of the units in the Striker Cavalry Star the Speed Demon ability. And Speed Demon basically just gives you extra movement if you don't attack. So as long as your unit makes no weapon or physical attacks during a turn, a character with the Speed Demon ability adds 1 movement point to their unit's running movement. I think the full version also goes into sprinting movement, but this base version gives you 1 movement to your run. So a Locust with that will get a run of 13 instead of 12, right? And I guess that's a good thing. It is. I don't know if it's a thing that I would bother working towards. I mean, you can still use these units, even if you don't like the ability. You don't have to use the ability. I don't like the idea of giving up any attack at all in order to just get 1 movement point. If I'm going to give up my attacking, I would want to get like at least 2 more movement points. But there it is. As I think I mentioned in the recon one, the maneuvering ace saves you 1 movement point, and that can technically be the difference between a target movement modifier for you that makes it difficult for you to be hit, or a target movement modifier that gets you shot, like gets your leg blown off. So it's still useful. Yeah, it's not bad. And yeah, the ideal role, Striker. So the Striker role, I think, leans more towards mid-range. So you're hitting hard, but you're also maneuvering fast. So you can use these for, like they say, flanking, holding lines, but also outmaneuvering the enemy and getting in behind people and that sort of stuff. Yeah, not a bad one. I'm just working on giving you an idea of the sort of units that you can look at for the given formation based on the ideal role for that formation. Now, obviously, some of the formations don't have an ideal role. If you want to get a list of a few other units that maybe have different roles for the different formations that don't necessarily have an ideal role but still need specific roles to be filled, give us a yell and we'll maybe do a few of those. But right now I'm just putting the filter in master unit list here. I'm on to the Cavalry Star. I'm going to try and call it the Cavalry Star because Striker kind of meshes a bit too much, because the ideal role is Striker. So for a Cavalry Lance, you're looking at the Striker role as your ideal role. So let's filter that and have a look at how many we've got. I already know this because I already looked it up. You've got the most that I found here by a good couple of 100 points. Now, I haven't looked at everything, only the ideal roles, but out of the ideal roles, this one had a good couple of 100 on any of the others, right? Striker is one of the main variants for mechs. It's insanely popular by the looks of things. So you've got 778 different battle mechs or different battle mech variants listed under Striker. And remember, I'm not filtering for technology base, so I'm not filtering out Innisphere or Clan, it's both, right? So there's 778 different battle mechs. There's 198 different combat vehicles. You've got 7 infantry units, which is actually kind of cool. They're mostly, yeah, I thought they would be. So they're mostly mechanized or motorized. So mechanized hover platoons, and then you've got an extraction force, a VTOL infantry extraction force. Good lord. Good lord. Okay. There's 2 different industrial mechs that count as being Strikers. There's 22 different variants of proto-mech, which is quite a high number. I like that. That's probably a role for proto-mechs. And then there's 3 support vehicles as well. I'm going to have a look at them. Strike Falcon Attack VTOL. Ooh. Okay. All right. So, yeah, like I say, there's a lot of units out there. If you want to try and build just a Cavalry Lance, there's lots of different options. I was interested to see the one that I used in both the fire support for missile boat and the recon for scout came up as Strikers. So there's a variant of the Locust and the Baboon there that are Strikers. And you're going light mechs from Commandos and Mongoose, the Spider, the Venom, the Raven, and you're moving up through things like the Komodo, the Phantom, Phoenix Hawk, the Wolverine. Yeah, you're going up through clan stuff like the Loki, the Dasher, the Piranha counts as a Striker, which is kind of interesting. There's a bunch. The Fire Falcon has like a dozen different variants that all count as Strikers. Arctic Fox. Let's look at some of the bigger ones, because like I say, I've scrolled up like 6 times and I haven't even hit 50 tons yet. There it is. Crimson Langer, the Hunchback. Ooh, the Stormcrow. There's a lot of Stormcrow variants that are considered Strikers. And you can mix and match. Like, you could have a full Omni-Mech group, and you could probably fit it into different formations for different things, but that's a story for another time. You got the Wolverine. The Wraith has a couple of versions, but they're both named. So the Pocahontas and the Alexander Wraith are both Strikers. And then the highest, the largest one is the 65-ton Loki, the Hellbringer. they're classed as strikers. But that is a lot of different mechs. There's a version of the trebuchet in there. I did not know that. The 9K trebuchet. Okay, cool. But yeah, you've got a lot of different units that you can choose from right there. 778 different variants. The vehicles, you've got a lot of harasser versions. You've got a lot of different heavier type, or at least more heavily armed type hover vehicles. So things like the Pegasus, Saladin, and then you're moving up into the Epona. If you've watched our vehicle series at all, there's 5 different variants. I'm pretty sure that's all 5 of the main listed variants of the Epona are considered strikers. So if you're building a star with clan vehicles, you have to remember that 1 point is 2 of the same vehicle, which means you could build technically, wow, you could have 10 Eponas in pairs. So you could have 2 primes, 2 E's, 2 D's, 2 C's, 2 B's, and you would have a star of Eponas, and it would count as a Cavalry Star. And that is just cool. I like that. Yeah, that's awesome. What's the high-end one there? The Enyo Strike Tank. But yeah, that's the Cavalry Star. The striker role is quite full on. There's a lot of them there. So it's possible that if you are looking to get into formations and give them a crack and see if you can make them work, that could be one that would get you started. It would probably be the easiest one to find some units that have that role, if you see what I mean. But yeah, I think as far as ideal roles go, we've gotten to the end. Yeah, so that is the last one. As far as ideal roles go, the other formation requirements, they don't actually list an ideal role. There are a few that give different roles for the requirements that you actually have to have these different roles in your unit in order to classify for that formation build. But they don't have any others that have an actual ideal role that let you circumvent those other requirements. So this should be the last one. Hopefully these are going out and you guys are enjoying this. Either that or it's me just dribbling crap at a phone for 20 minutes. But either way, I don't think anybody's losing out. It's all good. All right. You guys stay groovy, and I will catch you in the next one.